Welcome back to another video. I am currently anchored here off Rock Point, I believe that's what it's called. One of the last towns on the island of Luther here in the Bahamas. Just dropped anchor here about half an hour ago. Sailed here and gonna just spend one night. It's about 12 o'clock now, so I don't have much time. I got the dinghy tossed in the water, gonna get the outboard on her, and we got some exploring to do. I'm seeing some cool things on the island. A cave, which I gotta go check out, and at least 2 different blue holes. So I'm gonna stop talking here. We'll get everything loaded in the dinghy and head to shore. So just dropped the anchor here, right off the beach. It's pretty rocky though, so I don't know. Not the best holding for the little anchor, but I pulled on her. I think it should be good enough. We've got to find the cave now. They claim, I think it's called like Cathedral Cave. It's right here in this woods somewhere, so I figure we just walk around until we see a trail. See if we can find her. Well, I'm wandering here through the woods, trying to find the entrance to the cave, and I see a hole. I look down in it, and it just is like endless black hole into the cave. So I think I am probably in a spot I don't want to be, because I'm seeing all sorts of sinkholes that lead down into the cave. And if I step on one of those, that's no good. So I think we're going to backtrack and take the long way around, because I don't want to end up in a cave the wrong way. So after stumbling around a bit through the woods, we finally found the blue hole, and from there I think this path takes us to the cave. So we'll see if now we can find the actual entrance. This is pretty cool. It's kind of like if you ever see the movie Journey to the Center of the Earth. They got the trees up above have adapted, and the roots grown almost as tall as the tree itself down to the floor. And then there'll be trees inside. You can see back there, there's all the bats and life growing down below. It's just way cooler than I thought it was going to be. Glad we stopped by. I think this is where I was earlier, because I remember peeking down and couldn't see anything from above, and I was like, you'd hate to step on an empty spot, find yourself down here, because back where I'm from we get a lot of caves, and growing up they'll tell you stories of, they say like the little Indian boys would run around in the woods, fall in a cave sinkhole, and they were still finding skeletons today from them. So that would be a very bad way to end this vacation. Alright, that was a super cool stop. Definitely worth checking that one out. We're gonna see, I gotta stop and check the maps and see where everything else is. If it's worth trying to get back through here for the dinghy, or if we should just walk from here. But we'll stop here at the hole again and check it out. Well, we're back at the dinghy now. That was a super cool spot to stop. Terrible place though to park the dinghy in this little, like, they call it like a harbor or something on the map. I had to climb through all that brush. Definitely not worth. I should have just went down to the public dock and caved and walked the mile or so this way. But anyways, gonna get the dinghy and we'll take it over to the public dock now and explore the actual town itself. So all those signs I showed you that were painted, and the map, and on the buildings, turns out it was from a gentleman named Warren. He's got an art shop here. I picked up a piece myself that looked like Rambler, so I thought we had to get it. And he hooked me up too. My backpack is full. I've got these little fruits, they call them dillies, and a couple tamarind too. And he said they still gotta wait a couple days to ripen up. But I sat there and chat with him for a while, learn all the history of the area. So a super cool guy. If you're here, stop by and check him out. I think we're gonna go back to the boat now. Everyone I've asked, they said I've already seen everything there is to see. There's like a bit of a festival going on at the beach, but they say that's the homecoming, so probably not gonna go crash that. We might do a little more snorkeling around the boats and see what there is to do over there. So I've got my new art installed here. Got my only 2 crew on the boat and test the water. Seems nice enough out. I think we're gonna grab the spear pole and dinghy back over about where that cathedral was. It looked like there were some small coral heads. It's not very deep in here. It's only like 8 foot across most of this, so probably not gonna be anything super big, but it's an excuse to get in the water, so we'll go check it out and see if we can't find some dinner. Well, back on the boat, unfortunately did not catch any fish. I saw a few that were decent size, as in still not like super great, but would have been dinner. But they were all pretty fast and the water was murky, so by the time I could actually see them, I was kind of on top of them. So unfortunately we are having microwaved macaroni for dinner tonight, no fish. That's all right though. Gonna get the boat tidied up a bit more from the day. Probably the dinghy loaded back up, and we're setting sail early in the morning, so that's all we're going to be checking out for the island here so far. Well, so much for a calm evening. I guess they've decided to throw a party here, so we might be up a while, but pretty sunset, great spot here. I think we're still dragging a little bit, but there's no one behind me, and it's just like a few feet every now and then, so I'm not going to complain. I'm going to set the anchor alarm, go to bed, and we'll wake up bright and early in the morning and set sail again. Well, good morning. It's the next day here. Had a couple boats come in the anchorage last night, a few left as well. You see two of them off here. I was planning on leaving a little earlier, but my bed was real nice this morning, so I slept in, edited last week's video this morning. We only have, I think it's gonna be about 6 hours to get to the next anchorage, so it's not too bad. Still have plenty of daylight. It'll be a bit gloomy today, it looks like. I'm gonna stop yapping, get the dinghy stowed again. Got the dinghy loaded, anchor up, sails are up, wing on wing and downwind here. Only doing 4 knots, so hopefully we'll pick up a little bit. I think we got 30 miles to go. We're headed to, on the other side here of Eleuthera, the end point. I think it's called like Lighthouse Point. Just a little bit north of there, there's like a Disney cruise, one of those Resort World things, whatever they make. I'm gonna drop anchor near that. And the guy I had met, Scott, so he's him and his wife, and they've got 2 kids. They're living on a catamaran, and I'd met them in Hatchet Bay, and then they're the ones I met again in Government Harbor, and now they're headed that way too. So we've been chatting on the WhatsApp here. They are about 7 miles ahead of me and on a cat, so they're going a bit faster, but we're gonna try to end up in the same spot again. Maybe do some spearfishing, fingers crossed if I can talk them into it. But going well, gonna be a beautiful day. I'm catching up on my Dire Straits albums I got downloaded here on my phone, so just gonna sit back and let the sails do their thing. But we got some good winds out here today, doing 6.5. It's all 7 at one point, which is fast for old Rambler here. But we're coming up on the cuts, another 2 miles, so 15, was that 20 minutes at this speed? Sails are looking good. We might, if it picks up anymore, we're probably gonna have to reef a bit, because she's fighting me. But right now I'll take the speed. Like I said, the autopilot and these higher winds, it really sucks. It sways all over the place, and I don't know, you think this thing would have a brain, but it does not. So I'm hand steering again today for as much as I can, just to keep our speeds up. And got a podcast going in the ears now. Skies are clearing up, looking good. I've been texting with my friend Scott here. You can't see it, but I can see him just on the horizon. They got a real nice catamaran. So he's flying over there. We'll see what the GPS shows, the AIS. He's doing 7.5 knots earlier. He was telling me he could get upwards of 10, like even 12 knots. I'm like, that'd be real nice. But yeah, going good. That's all I got for you. I will get back to my job here. Touch base with you later. So I'm rounding Powell Point here. I got a call from Scott, and he said that they had made it, I don't know, another 4 or 5 miles ahead of me here, and it was getting pretty rough with the way the wind's coming the direction we need to go. He says pointing pretty high, getting lots of waves on them. So he asked if we just would want to maybe hold up and wait here instead. It really isn't going to change much for the crossing. Just had a couple miles. So I was like, heck yeah, it shortens my day. Sounds good to me. So I think he's behind this little catamaran here. on the other side of these rocks. We're gonna be about a mile and a half there till dropping anchor, and it looks like it should be pretty calm. So I texted him, haven't heard back yet, but I will let you all know once we get over there what it looks like. So you got the anchor dropped, the snubbers on. You can see Scott's boat there. It's a beautiful boat. A little jealous. Rambler's great. We got a lot of rocks here. It looks like there might be a bridge, some rocks there and over there. So as long as the water's not too cold, then we might go do some more spearfishing. I got almost frozen yesterday. You'd think it's beautiful down here, but the water takes it out of you. So we will see. It's clear as can be though. 15 foot of water. You can see the rocks down there. So you got to take advantage of it while you got it. Well, we just got back from spearfishing. We were out there like, let's see, 3 or 4 hours. It was a lot of fun though. It's probably the most beautiful coral reef I've ever seen. We took Scott. He came by, like he picked me up in his dinghy. He's got like a real nice one, and we went cruised around. He caught 2 fish. I didn't get a single one, but he was cool enough. He gave me the trigger fish and then half of the grouper. So I appreciate that. And I'm gonna stock up the fridge. They also hooked me up with half a cantaloupe. Real great people. Appreciate that. And I'm gonna fill up the freezer now. And they invited me over for dinner as well. So much thanks to them. And yeah, I got a lot of fun, learned a little bit. I chased a pretty good sized grouper. And I had shot at him, just missed the guy. So I did see a fish at least. I didn't catch anything myself though. Well, good morning. You can tell I am up pretty early today. This was the hardest thing I've done this week, was getting out of bed. I was sleeping good, but get the boat pretty much picked up. I got a few boats that came in as the sun was setting there. This guy's real close to me here. So going to be interesting getting up here off the anchor. I think we should be fine. I guess he didn't know who he was anchoring by. I'm doing this with my hands, but anyways, I'm gonna get the anchor pulled up here and get on our way. We're heading across to the Exumas today. It's 6 o'clock, so I'm trying to get a head start on Scott and Jordan on the cat behind me. They're gonna follow. I think we're heading to Current Cut was the consensus last night. So I'm going to try to get there, and then hopefully in a couple hours they'll catch up and probably pass me, but that's just the way it works. Alright, I got the anchor pulled up. Went nice and easy. I'm going to motor out here just around a few rocks and coral heads, and then we'll get the sails put up. Looks like it's going to be dead downwind most of the way. Which is sometimes good and sometimes not, but the sun should be up here soon, and I'll touch base with you then when you can actually see me. It's 10:30 here now. We're doing about 5 knots still. If I steer, we get up to 6. Swell is picking up quite a bit. I was down below longer than I should have been. Got seasick, so didn't. I took a Dramamine. Feeling a little better now. Gonna get some lunch in me. Scott and Jordan on Aphrodite. They're just back there somewhere. I think 2.5 miles. So they're making good time. They're doing, I think, 8 to 9 knots according to AIS. So the chart says I should be passing me in like an hour. And then, yeah, they're pretty cool. Nothing on the fishing line. Pretty uneventful so far. I'm just going to get my lunch in me and touch base with you later. One directly south, the reviews were saying it's a bit swelly. Yeah, I got 2 different ones, just depending on how shallow it's going to be. It sure is a good looking boat, isn't it? Just Scott told me he caught a mahi too. He sent a picture. That thing's like bigger than the cooler he's trying to fit it in. So I got my line out, hadn't got a thing yet, so we'll keep trying. They're gonna get to the anchorage first, kind of scope it out, and I shouldn't be but maybe, I don't know, half an hour to an hour behind them. Getting a bit spooky here. We got conch rock there. You can see the wave just bashing against it, and I've got a very narrow sliver to get between that and all the rocks here where the waves are. Kind of pulling not maybe the brightest idea, leaving the sails up. I got the engine going though, and I think at this point I'm going to shut up and turn the camera off so I can have 2 hands on the wheel here. Got a rock and sand on this side, coral heads on this side. This is by far the narrowest I have ever tried to navigate through. And we got a nice little current coming out too, so Rambler's handling perfect though. She's doing good. Old Captain's doing pretty good too. This is kind of terrifying, but honestly now that I've done it, I'm feeling a lot more confident in trying it in the future. I hear the Exumas is a lot of this kind of navigation. Like I said, I only got a few feet on each side of me that I can really squeeze through safe. 3 feet below the keel, which is not bad right there, but then anyways, you all get the gist. I think we made it through the worst. I sure hope. We're gonna try to find an anchor spot here. There's a couple mooring balls, but they're like 50 bucks a night from what I've heard. The anchor's free, at least it is now that I've paid for it, so we're gonna try to use that where we can, but get close to Scott and them too, so we can swing by and say hi. Go check out his mahi he got. It's pretty sweet. I think I'm gonna dive on the anchor and check her out, just because the moorings are right behind me. Pretty stinking pretty though. You got some rock, it looks like you can climb up, and then I think they say Johnny Depp's house is just over here. And there's, like they call it, the aquarium, a place with all the reef fish. So I think we have a lot of exploring to do and not much time to do it. I'm gonna hop in the water and we'll go check out this anchor. So just dove on the anchor. She looks great. If you could see it, it's I think, what do I got? I'm in 15 foot of water now. Where I dropped it was like 5 foot. So it's a real big drop off, which is kind of interesting for the chain to go. But super cool, like manta ray or whatever that was too. I got the dinghy set up. We're just gonna go to the beach here, and I think there's a trail that you can walk to the top of that rock up there. We'll go check it out and then see what else is going on. We made it. Y'all were so worried in the last video about me crawling around underground through rocks, so I figured I'd make you feel better and climb through the air on rocks. This is pretty sweet. You got a great view of all the Exumas, the chain running north and south. There's the anchorage with all the little tiny boats in it now. And look how you can see all the way out to where it gets super deep. Sailboats going, all the rocks and coral. This is just unbelievable. Well, I've made it here to the top of the lookout. This is the most beautiful sunset and one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. The rain's starting to pour down. It was worth the hike up here though. Got to make it back to the boat Rambler somewhere over here with everyone else. But I think that's gonna wrap it up for this week's video. Appreciate you guys watching. It was a great week here. Some spearfishing, hanging out with a new friend, exploring the Exumas now. Hard to beat it. Big shout out to all the Patreon subscribers. Appreciate you guys for all the help for the adventure. And this is gonna wrap it up. I gotta get back before I melt out here in the rain. I'll see you in next week's video.